Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I am going to be working on a new diorama. Now, I know it's been a long time since I've posted a diorama build for Hot Wheels. However, I'm going to be starting with this crude piece of 2-inch foam. Now, I have an idea, I know what I want, but I have no idea what to do. So I'm kind of in the planning phase right now with the two cars that I want to use for this diorama. Now I know I want to have an off-road kind of diorama, but I do not know how I want to accomplish that because I've never worked with this type of medium before, and by medium I mean I've never used with the foam, the material. So it's new to me and we're gonna kind of experiment with it. So I'm using a Sharpie to just kind of draw out a very crude drawing of kind of what's in my head and what I want to try to translate into the foam. The diorama's in the foam somewhere, I just gotta find it, right? So I kind of mapped out a roadway that I want to try to follow, and then where I'm doing these scribbles here, I want to do some kind of like, I don't even know, like a little crack or a crevice or like a creek bed or a creek or something. But I do know that I don't want this to be just a flat terrain because that's just boring. I think having a terrain difference, whether it be an elevation change or whatever it may be, is a huge, it just adds depth to the diorama itself. And so in my mind, I knew I wanted to have some type of terrain difference. And side note to self, this foam is messy. If you guys do end up using this foam, I don't even know what kind of foam it is. I think it's just foam insulation board. I got it from my dad. He had an extra piece and he let me have it so I can make this diorama. But man, it is so messy, it is ridiculous. I did have to vacuum quite a few times, but before I did that, I did save some of the larger chunks that I ripped out so I could use them in different dioramas as detail. Now, I don't know if you saw, but I did pull a lighter out to kind of melt the edges a little bit and basically just add some more detail by melting it. Now, like I said, I still don't know where I want the cars to be. I'm not sure, so I'm still kind of in that planning phase, but now that I have an idea of what I want the diorama to look like, it's a little bit easier to figure out where I want the placement to be for each of the vehicles. Now, real quick, a little bit about the vehicles. I'm using the red is a Jeep Cherokee and the gray is a Jeep Wagoneer. I painted the red Jeep Cherokee. I added all the details on it about a year and a half ago, and I just haven't found the right diorama to build for it, and I think I have the right one. It fits this one very well. And the Jeep Wagoneer, I just added the details to it tonight. I have a couple of these vehicles, and I finally decided to take the leap and add the details to this one. So as you see here, I'm using the marker again, and I'm marking out where the wheels are going to go for each vehicle because I want the wheels to sink into the terrain a little bit. So one, they don't move if I pick up the diorama, but two, so that it looks like they're actually a part of the dirt per se. Once you see the videos at the end of the video, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. Now, I was kind of planning on doing more of like a forest kind of style, but I quickly changed because one, I don't know how to make trees just yet. I'm still kind of working on that process. So I decided to go to a desert theme. I have made a desert one in the past and it turned out really, really good. And the nice thing about that lighter is this foam, when you melt it, it actually creates little cracks and crevices like you would see in the bottom of a dry lake bed. So I used that little bit of detail to basically turn this into a desert style theme. So now that I have the car placements, I'm gonna go ahead and place a coat of primer on everything. I painted the edges black as well and added the coat of primer. Here I'm just adding the cars back in. I did think it looked kind of cool, like a moon lander or something like that. It was kind of cool. So here I am just going to be covering everything in a coat of nutmeg brown. This stuff is literally just to be a basically top coat of color, just so I can start with a colored base instead of primer gray. And because I don't have an airbrush just yet, I'm having to do all hand painting and stuff, which I don't have a problem with. I just throw my AirPods in and just have a blast with it. And It allows me to practice my steady hand as well. As you see, I'm just slathering it on. I do leave the bottom of the creek bed a little less covered in nutmeg brown, just because I do want to add some different color, variant color in there, just so it's not all one color, because that would look a little too blah for me. So once this coat dried, as you see, it's really wet here. Once it dried, I did go back in with a gray color. It's called Country Gray. It's a pretty light color gray. And I did some dry brushing over the entire thing. So I did decide that it is going to be a dry creek bed because I think it looks really good and it also fits the desert aesthetic. So when I put the Country Gray on, I am definitely putting it a little bit heavier on the creek bed because I want the rocks to kind of stand out a little more to show off the creek bed itself. Now I do add a light coat of dry brushing over the entirety of the diorama just to bring out the highlights. Because once I get done with the dry coat or dry brush of the gray, I do go in with a black wash, and I mix that into an old pickle jar and some water, and then I use just a black folk art paint and just mix it in with the water, and it makes a really good black wash that fills in all the crevices. Now the crappy part is I forgot to hit record, and so I didn't get any of the black wash getting thrown on except for the last bit when I realized I wasn't recording. So here you go. Here's a little bit of the black wash process. It's literally just slather it on and then go through and dab off the excess. And the point of the black wash is to get in all the crevices that are the low points in the diorama to help bring depth to it, so you can see the low points in the dirt, and then the gray is to bring the high points in the dirt, and the brown is just obviously the color of the dirt. Now I'm adding some little pea gravel here just to give a little bit of more terrain depth to it. It is not secured at all. I haven't figured out a good way to secure the rock just yet, but this is going to be it for this part. I have put a lot of work into this thus far, and I'm very pleased with how it is turning out so far. If this is something you guys really enjoy watching, please do not hesitate to like and subscribe. And also, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts as to what you would do to this diorama if it was yours and you were building it. So please leave a comment below, and if I see something I like, I might add it in. I'm not sure, but I'm always open to all kinds of ideas and inspiration, so please feel free to do that. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. I'm gonna go ahead and shut up now, and you guys just kind of enjoy the glory shots, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.